The healthcare delivery system of any country is very relevant to the success of the country in the first place, because it's like the bloodline of the country.
So if what we are providing, if the money we are investing in it is not enough for basic, how then is it good?
But there was a key word you didn't address at all. And if you had addressed that key word, that could direct what points to consider most.
This is the Yaz Intellectuals, bringing to you intellectual debates. Debates fired by critical thinkers representing their halls to talk on pertinent motions meant to shape the country's democratic process.
My name is Nanaba Amwa, and I'm co-hosting with
Edugenfi, and this particular program is sponsored by Yaz and again supported by Capital O2 and Access.
21st century design, made with durable materials, bristles crafted to reach in between your teeth, flexible, allows easy control. Introducing Yaz range of toothbrushes, made for every pocket. For bulk purchases, call 0302 235294. Yaz toothbrushes, clean teeth, confident smile.
Thank you very much. So we'll move on to our next stage, and we have Oguaa Hall of UCC.
Hi, my name is Samuel Ansujan, JCRC Chief of Staff with Oguaa Hall.
I'm Amegachi Alex, the welfare chairman of Oguaa Hall.
For me, being in Oguaa Hall is more than an experience. You get to be part of something quite bigger than yourself, something quite greater than yourself.
Really love the hall because of the positive people we have in the hall.
Oguaa Hall is the best hall in UCC.
We win almost everything that's being hosted on campus.
I can promise you that we have seasoned debaters who are of course members of UCC's Debate Society to come up head to head against other hallers of other universities.
I think Oguaa Hall is going to win this competition because we are just the best. We are the monkeys, we are the terminators, and we are the premiers.
Watch out for Oguaa Hall, the premier hall of University of Cape Coast. We are coming at you, whether you're coming from Katanga or Sabah or whichever place you're coming from. This is the premier hall, and we're repping.
And Elizabeth Francis Say of University of Ghana.
Elizabeth Francis Say Hall, one of the most notable halls in the diaspora.
Elizabeth Say Hall. My hall, apart from having very fine girls, which is notable out in the school, has a lot of achievements to its name.
Our freshmen winning the freshman debate that was organized by the UGSRC.
If even our freshers came out first, what about the combination of the whole debate team?
When we are arguing, we do not only raise voices. When we see we are not making sense, you don't raise your voice, you rather better your argument.
Talk about the intellectual debate competition. You guys wouldn't want to take it on.
When it comes to debate, we have a lot to brag about.
Intellectuals, you guys should watch out for Elizabeth Francis Say Hall. Did I say watch out? Sorry. I mean, you should fear Elizabeth Francis Say Hall.
And we are confident that our debaters are ever ready.
We are coming like a Cupid arrow. We are coming to dazzle you. We are coming to sweep you off your feet with a Cupid arrow.
Watch out for us. We are surely coming out first, and there's no doubt about that.
The topic on which they are debating is the establishment of the National Health Insurance Scheme is a panacea for good health delivery. We have Frances Elizabeth Say speaking against the motion and Oguaa Hall of UCC speaking for the motion.
Okay, so we are very much honored to have our Mr. Moderators. Without wasting further time, let me quickly welcome Professor Goski Alabi, Professor Martin Owusu, Dr. Oseni Adams. All right, so for Oguaa Hall, they are starting for us, and their principal speaker will be ushered on stage.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the panel. I am Darlington from Oguaa Hall UCC, and the motion before this house is that the establishment of the National Health Insurance Scheme is a panacea to good health care delivery. An understanding of the context that led to the establishment of the National Health Insurance Scheme is key in this debate if there's supposed to be any headway in the debate from our side of the debate. We tell you that prior to the establishment of the National Health Insurance Scheme, there wasn't any major attempt through legislation by the government of Ghana at that time to have control over its healthcare delivery system. We tell you that the healthcare delivery system of any country is very relevant to the success of the country in the first place, because it's like the bloodline of the country, and it can't be left to the hands of any individual people to have control over. We tell you that there were so many systems in place before the institution of a National Health Insurance Scheme. Chief among them was the cash and carry system, which had in its place, which operated on the principle of cash in hand before treatment. We tell you that it led to a lot of backlash at the day where we have a lot of death and complications, and so because of the cost inherent in the system at that time, people were not able to have affordability to the system, and people couldn't access the system. We tell you fundamentally that if you have been able to establish the fact that the NHIS was a response to a need, then we can go on and characterize what a good healthcare system is. We feel that the good healthcare system must be one that inherent in it are the principle of equitable access, the principle of affordability, and the principle of good health outcomes. But before I move on further in this debate, some definitions. We tell you that the National Health Insurance Scheme is a system of universal health care delivery that delivers good health care by ensuring the population of a country against the cost of health care. The panel. What I want the House to understand is that the National Health Insurance Scheme was to establish good healthcare delivery. And so if we're able to show that inherent in the NHIS are principles, are structures that ensures that good healthcare delivery is achieved, then we believe that we have a headway in this debate. Panacea in this debate is, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is something that will make everything about a situation better. In this context, the panel, we tell you that the NHIS has inherent in it the structures and principles that make everything good about good health delivery better. And I'll show you why by characterizing what a good health delivery is. A good health delivery, according to the WHO, a good health delivery is one that reflects the principles, as I said earlier, the principles of affordability, of equitable access, and of good health outcomes. So if we can tell you that these things are found in the NHIS, then we believe that it becomes a panacea to good healthcare delivery. We tell you from our side of the house that a good health system, regardless of whether it is the NHIS or whatever module that existed before the establishment of the NHIS, all what will be coming to propose must be based on three structures: the structures of mandates, the structures of subsidy, and the structures of regulation. We tell you that these three structures are likened to a three-legged stool, according to Matt Yeglasias, who is an health expert in the United States. He said that anytime that one of these structures is removed, the whole system wobbles. We tell you that the mandate is what gives credibility and relevance to the National Health Insurance Scheme. We tell you that the mandate basically is reflected in the agenda goals of the WHO and of the UN, which Ghana is a part of. This agenda goal is that by 2030, all member states ascribing to the UN and of the WHO should achieve universal health care coverage. And we feel that, first of all, the NHIS was established to ensure that universal health care coverage is achieved for all legal participants or legal citizens of this country. And if we've been able to show you that, then we tell you that the NHIS did not just enjoy local legislation, but also enjoy outward international legislation. We tell you from this side of the house that this mandate ensure that various regulations are initiated to ensure that this principle constantly works. We tell you that the NHIS was established under the NHIS Act of 2003, Act 650 in 2003. We tell you that because of this system, this act went back to Parliament, and we found that a lot of amendment was made to it to ensure that the NHIS has been consolidated, administrative bottlenecks has been removed, and transparency have been assured. We tell you the subsidy is what gives the mandate the affordability that it has. We tell you the house and the speaker, any good healthcare system must be one is affordable. And so if it is affordable, there must be inherent structures that ensures that people who ascribe to it are able to afford it, and if they're able to afford it, they are able to access it. And we believe that if they're able to access it, then comes good health outcomes. And what are these good health outcomes? I refer that it's a panacea, that there is increase in life expectancy, that mortality ratios are decreased, and we feel that a lot of indicators are established, which will be given by my first supporting speaker. Now we give you the regulation, and say that I give you this analysis on two levels. That one, it is what consolidates the healthcare system in order to avoid exploitation and discrimination of the legal citizens of Ghana. So we tell you from this side of the house that any healthcare delivery system must be one that protects its members from the attacks of other systems in place. And so that inherent in the NHIS were structures that ensure that people that ascribe to the system, first of all, are protected against other insurance schemes through protection and what have you. We tell you that finally, in our argument, why is it a panacea? It is a panacea because since its inception, the general improvement of vital health indicators like life expectancy, mortality rates have increased. We tell you that the people who have ascribed to this system so far has increased more than half of the population. We tell you that if the NHIS was not credible to deliver good healthcare delivery, then we tell that people were not going to ascribe to it, people were going to boycott it, but then the indicators were in the wrong direction. We tell that people are ascribing to it, and it's serving a lot of need in the system. So what my principal speakers are going to do is to throw more light on the indicators and show you that indeed the NHIS first of all has in it principles of affordability, principles of equitable access, and principles of good health outcome. What our opponents must prove in this house is to show us that inherent in the NHIS are fundamental flaws which cannot be resolved. And so if cannot be resolved, then it should be repealed. If they're able to prove to us that NHIS, the problems associated with it cannot be resolved, and so the only way to go is to repeal it and replace it by another system, then they should go ahead and tell us that the system they are proposing have those structures we have presented to the house. It is a good day to be on the side of opposition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Principal Speaker of Oguaa Hall. We'll call on the Principal Speaker of Panacea Hall.
Most panel of judges, thank you, but ladies and gentlemen, well, ideally we were supposed to present to you guys with a PowerPoint presentation, but you technical difficulties would like to provide device if you could see from where you're sitting. So, like you said before, it's a good day. It has been a good day right up until you came on this day and made various assertions. What are principles if they don't even work in the first place? They are just assertions. You came on stage, just told us what to do with providing good health care. Okay, so the NHIS has been in for a very long time now, and I must say, to be honest, it has meaningful impact on our guests. So the stakeholders would like to show the stakeholders in this debate. The stakeholders are the people patronizing the scheme, the government, and the health sector. So if we're able to prove to you that the NHIS impacts all these stakeholders negatively, then we will be able to prove to you that the establishment of the NHIS is rather jeopardizing the healthcare system and has made it fail, then we win this debate. So it is a fact that Ghana is a middle income country and a sizable number of our population could be deemed as poor. That is why in every context, I would like us to look at the bigger picture. Are the things we're doing remedying that situation, or just putting it on hold to support it to go back to square one within a short time? Listen, the government spends billions of Ghana cedis on a national health insurance scheme every year. Now that would be highly commendable if it was in a working venture.
But we are talking about national health insurance scheme, something that cannot even take care of its basic requirements. Now, before I give you the reason why I am saying the NHIS is not a panacea for good health delivery, I will show you what it is, how it is hurting the Ghanaian economy. Now, the government of Ghana spends billions of Ghana cedis on the national health insurance scheme, and as at now, the government owns 1.2 billion debt. About a few months ago, in your very own school, the president of the country came and delivered a very lovely speech in which he clearly stated that the government owes 1.2 billion cedis to the NHIS. Now, only 600 million as at now can be paid to them, and that is the effect it's having on our economy. Now, Ghana's total debt stock as at now starts at 138.8 billion. So if you keep adding more figures from the NHIS, what good are we doing to ourselves? Okay, so you talked about the World Health Organizations. Let's talk about the principle of the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization clearly states in its guidelines that for a state to provide the most basic health care, you should have at least $44 per person every year to cater for their health needs. $44, but it recommends $86. And do you know how much the budget for the NHIS provides for each individual seated here? Only $30. So if what we are providing, if the money we are investing in it is not enough for basic, how then is it good? We believe in a policy that if it must be done, it must be done well. And the NHIS is not even done for it to be well. So what are we talking about? This is a non-working venture. $30, the best the government could do if we should all fall sick twice a year is to provide us with a glass of orange juice and water when we go to the hospitals. Because the money is not enough to suffice whatever is going on in the national health insurance scheme. So the point is, if we cannot make the minimum cuts, why stress in the first place? The money could be invested in the healthcare system, but in other ventures to better our healthcare system first before we think of that. If you're not meeting the basic target, how are we meeting a good target? Not at all. Now, one stakeholder as mentioned earlier in this debate is the healthcare system, particularly the doctors and the nurses. So doctors and nurses and all these healthcare professionals go through a lot of stress to get to where they are. Even the stress of getting to medical school alone is not an easy thing. And the stress after getting a job is not something to joke about. So after all these things, all this stress, and after all these things they do, the worst gift we are giving them is the National Health Insurance Scheme. You know, they are a stakeholder because they are the ones providing the healthcare. So if you're able to prove to you that the NHIS is disfavoring this stakeholder and thus making them incapable of discharging their duties, meaning there's no healthcare in the first place, then we are going to win this round. Okay, so the National Health Insurance Scheme is meant to foster good medical care in the country. Yet it is the very reason why we have healthcare professionals always going on strike. Medical bodies always go on strike for the same thing that is meant to foster good health care. So if we are pushing all these medical professionals to the streets, who then are we expecting to give us that health we are talking about? The fishermen? No, we are expecting these professionals to be able to be around and be motivated enough to do the work they are supposed to do. You know, about 3 years ago, I was in senior high school. I remember this thing very clearly. 3 years ago, doctors went on strike, and 500 deaths were recorded in just 17 days. And only God knows how many went unrecorded. So, this is meant to foster good health care, yet it is the reason why people are dying. The doctors go on the streets. Who is there to take care of them? So if you are not supporting these stakeholders by providing a module that is supportive of them, that is going to be an incentive, that is going to psych them up to work for the system, then what are we doing? We are just regressing. We are not progressing anywhere. So imagine, you know the worst thing, it's not as if it is getting better for us. Things are getting worse and worse. You know, just a few months ago, the Ghana Medical Association threatened to go on a 6-month strike if the government does not pay them all the debts owed them through the National Health Insurance Scheme. So if that, and they gave the ultimatum of April 30th. So imagine by April 30th, then I fall sick, I go to the hospital, doctors are on strike, then something happens, then let's say I die. Then Ghana has lost a great asset for the 2048 elections, I must say. And who knows the people that were in the 500 that died? For all you know, the next Professor Martin could have been among them, and he died with them. And we will never see such a talent. The next Professor Goski could have also been with them. So, as a nation, we should focus on things that will help us instead of things that will retrogress. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has come a very long way, but we are not there yet. The NHIS could be put on hold if you want to enjoy good health delivery, emphasis on good. The risks involved in maintaining it is too high and risk for us to endure. Our hospitals are in the West with the most obsolete equipment in the world. What then is healthcare if you are not moving at the same pace with the rest of the world? How is it good healthcare when the rest of the world is using as medicine-based combination therapy and we are still using chloroquine? How is it good healthcare delivery if I have to sleep on a thin blanket to receive an IV? Who calls it good health delivery when you are given parts of the drugs you need and told to come the next week for the remainder? What if I die before the next week comes? Modern healthcare and all its fancy instruments, amazing methods and successes in providing longer lives and happiness only exist because we abandoned the free market system in medicine a long time ago. Now, paying the doctor with chickens will only make the doctor see his doctoring job as something he learns from a book and then he is just using it to augment his income from another craft, let's say painting. This is why we lack innovation in our health sector. A doctor won't see reason why, after all, he's not paid. Why should he have a day off and then go to the lab and then go and research on medicines to give to the general public? There is no incentive to do that. So that is why we lack innovation. No innovation means no progress. No progress, what are we doing to ourselves? We can't keep on hiding behind the facade of free, thinking that everything is great when it's clearly not. The National Health Insurance Scheme has been a failure in health delivery, and that remains factual, no matter what members of the proposition would say. Now, tell the record straight, I am Master Ahmed Hamdul Labaran, Principal Speaker, against the motion. Thank you.
I've got yes comfort. I've got yes confidence. I've got yes freshness. We've got yes protection.
Ultra thin, wide wings and leak guards. Yes sanitary pads give you maximum comfort, hygiene and protection in a resealable pack.
We've got yes protection.
Yes sanitary pads. Maximum protection, maximum confidence.
Don't worry, we've got yes protection.
Deliberation and debate is the way to stir the soul of our democracy. Jesse Jackson. Good evening, panel, fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen. Before I move into my substantive matter, let me engage issues that we raise from side opposition. The very basic thing I get from them, that we are operating a system that is not working. Panel, the simple question I ask, a system that is not working has witnessed an increased number of subscribers. A system that is not working have people enrolling onto it day in, day out. A system that is not working has the Ghana Medical Association at its third National Executive Council in Bolgatanga issued a statement urging the president and the stakeholders to pump money into this because they feel it is something that is worthy to pursue. Panel, let me engage the issues of opposition before I move into my substantive matter. He brings in the issue of that if they are able to prove that the national health insurance has worsened the health care of our people, then they win that debate. And I think they lost flat in that. If the national health insurance has worsened our health care system, then why do we have people enrolling into it each day in, each day out? It means we wouldn't have even been having this. He brought in issues that it is hurting our economy. That is where it saddens my heart to have opposition placing the health of its people as against money. It is money that brings the health of its people. And so even if the government have to go far to spend to make sure that the country is healthy, then we think we must do that. He has forgotten the adage that health is wealth, wealth is not health. And so we must pump money, even as the Ghana Medical Association is calling for. And his argument on the economy is far misplaced. He brings in issues of doctors and nurses going on strike. So if doctors probably allowances are not paid and they go on strike, what is the bearing on the national health insurance? It has no bearing. And if the Ghana Medical Association has even issued statements urging the government to pump more money into the national health insurance, then it means it is something they themselves ascribe to. Ladies and gentlemen, I think argument from their side, it doesn't really hold, because the fundamental thing is that this is a system since 2003 has witnessed an increased number of people that subscribe into it, and think with that alone it shows that it is something that is working. If it is about the problems, we should focus on solving the problems with the national health insurance and not necessarily a repeal of the whole system. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unarguable to determine that a good health delivery system, we cannot be ignorant of certain key health indicators. How favorable or unfavorable these key health indicators are shows how good or bad a health delivery system is. I will walk
walk you through an analysis of pre-Ghana National Health Insurance versus post-Ghana National Health Insurance and see whether we had a favorable move. Pre-Ghana National Health Insurance had infant mortality rate at least 60 deaths out of every 1,000 births. But as at 2015, we have this at just 43, a huge decline. We have the infant mortality reducing at that rate. Life expectancy panel, as at the year before the year 2003, was not more than 58 years in Ghana. Currently, it stands at 67. Do we think this was just a mere theory of coincidence? Do you think that what we should ask ourselves, what was responsible for this? It was because the introduction of the NHIS, people had more access to medical treatment, people had more access to attend to clinics, even with a research. Let me take you to page 73 to 86 of the Ghana Medical Journal, June 2012, where they did the research to find the impact of the National Health Insurance on healthcare delivery. They found out that people that are subscribed to the National Health Insurance are more likely to obtain medical subscription, are more likely to visit hospitals and attain medical health care. And so you see that there is a general improvement in the life, the well-being of the people. And so we feel that if the establishment of the National Health Insurance, which took us away from the cash and carry system they are now proposing, because we have not gone back to the free market system, where it will be the survival of who has more money and not necessarily whose life is at stake. Panel, we live in a country that the life of the people matter, and we must ensure that there is a free, there must be equitable access to this health delivery, which my principal speaker has said. With the analysis we have made, you see that in pre-National Health Insurance Ghana, the health indicators were very, very unfavorable. Will you want to live 57 years in pre-National Health Insurance Ghana, or you really want to go in for 67 years in post-Ghana National Health Insurance? With this, we are proud to propose.
Thank you. First supporting speaker of Oguaa. Okay, I'm sure you will agree with me that the debate is heated. We'll call on the first supporting speaker of Panacea Hall.
The chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, the guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are standing here today to speak against this motion because we do not see why it's a panacea, but rather see it as a detriment to the health sector that is currently going on. In the needs of humans, the demand for good health care is a constant, as the need for all the major life activities. By a country that has reduced the necessity to make the provision of a reliable health scheme to an infinitesimal issue that has been thrown just on the surface of society, calls for a concrete change to this. I stand here to rebut the points these people bring to us and tell them why they should move their seats to our side and speak in favor of. The government wanted to have control of the health sector, which alone on their side is a manipulative move. Then the cash and carry system took care of that. Also, on their point of affordability, what is the use of affordability? If you send a person, you are not giving him or her enough money, the person goes there and they are told, oh, looking at the situation you have to pay this amount to have this healthcare system. This same situation is going on in the national health scheme proposed. Then in the system they are proposing of affordability doesn't even exist in the first place because can't call it doesn't cover every single thing under it. So on that point, it's totally wrong. Besides, we are trying to give our country here a free lunch, but then look at this. The scarce resources we have won't promote a situation of having free lunch, and we won't have an effect of the payback of this free lunch, be on our mothers, be on the people who can't have the enough system and who have to go to the stress of getting one card that has to keep on going after every year. The wrapper comes off, and it's not even quality enough to provide you with the healthcare system. Also giving him the answer like Dr. For the cash and carry system, there is no way you giving a healthcare system where you do not pay and you are allowed to go. With your national health scheme, people come in there and they're supposed to be, and the government says, I'll give you the money you need to make sure that you are paid and get the satisfaction for the job you are giving or the help you are giving to people. But then this government keeps on delaying because government keeps on finding more reason to go and get money from other places to fund their so-called projects and patting their wallets within the country, within their system. So these are the arguments here right now on why we the panel. One, on the argument of sustainability, and two is assurance. This national health system cannot be sustainable because over the years I've seen, there has not been any massive leap, no massive improvement on this. It has just been a camouflage of making things look good to make it seem as though that the health sector is doing extremely well. But then this is not the case at all. The national health schemes have not been sustainable in putting everyone under their scheme and giving everyone the needed healthcare they need, the drugs they need, which which is helping the private sector even more. As a government sector, you must make sure that every single person within your country falls under the scheme you provide, so that you have a good healthcare system from your government. But then if your scheme is not good enough and it's pushing people more into the private sector, you go on your side. I don't think so. On the system of assurance, there has not been any single assurance. First, when it comes to the amount of money an individual in the country gets for healthcare, which my principal speaker stated as $30 instead of the normal $44. So the assurance in the first place is not there. Two, when this doctor is not getting the money they need, not getting the payment they need, who has to go on strike, and because they are not getting paid, it's equally a system of non-assurance over there. So what do we propose from us? Instead of pushing money, all the needed money and effort into promoting a scheme that is not working, why not come back, sit down and create a sustainable plan that will make sure that the structures are available, the systems are able to handle all the things there. So the doctors are available for these people, the medicines are available, the people will be given an assurance of good health care within the system. We do not believe that this national health care scheme system going on right now is helping the country in any way, and therefore it's coming to a utilitarian point of view. As I'll tell you, people have the right, understood. But what good is this right if it's not helping? That's where the government comes in and curtails this need and tells you, let's come out, we'll put a force on this, a barrier on this, and to ensure that you have good health care. You have the right, but the thesis is failing you. Also on utilitarian.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We are proud to oppose.
The second supporting speaker for Oguaa Hall.
Of our opponents as intellectuals to consider challenges as outright inability. Now, everything that you have mentioned there are challenges, and we should let you know that we are not refuting or denying that the current NHIS is faced with certain challenges. But the fact that it is faced with challenges does not stop it from executing its mandates. Now, you talked about the issue of sustainability. When it started, it wasn't as it is now. We had just a few number of people enrolled on this scheme. As the years goes by, a lot of people have subscribed to it, increasing utilization. Now, the issue of not everyone being covered by this scheme. Everyone who is a legal citizen of this country has the right to be subscribed to this scheme. It is just that it does not cover people who have not enrolled on it, but it is open to every citizen of this nation. And then we tell you that statistics has proven that as my first supporting speaker told us, pre-NHIS Ghana versus NHIS Ghana, in terms of indication with health issues, are way favorable in our era right now. Maternal mortality has decreased, life expectancy increased. And so if you tell us that all these things are not good, are not panaceas to good health care delivery, I find it difficult to understand. Now, we have told you the reasons why we think that the NHIS is a panacea to good health delivery. We gave you the characterization of a good health scheme, which should comprise of the three key principles of good health system, which is affordability, accessibility, and good health outcome. And all these three principles are embedded in the NHIS. Now, the NHIS is established on its establishment is based on the three main structures of good healthcare delivery, which is mandates, subsidy, and regulation. Now, if you tell us to go back to the era of cash and carry, how does one who does not have money afford healthcare? And we all can tell that more than half percentage of the people in Ghana are poor. So if more than half percentage of your citizenry cannot afford basic health needs. What then will show that your country can deliver good health care? Here we are talking of majority, not even if it's not everyone. The majority tells us that it is the most important thing. On this note, we end our debate.
Thank you.
We now introduce the second supporting speaker of Francis Day.
The relevance of today's debate is for us to assess the two models that have been brought to the whole house by the two factions. Now, this side of the house comes to preach to us about all the goodies of the National Health Insurance Scheme, and they fail to tell us exactly how they are going to curtail the force in which they are using to capitalize on our point, on how they are actually going to treat it. So, in essence, they are actually preaching only on the good side of the National Health Insurance Scheme, and not actually telling us what exactly they are doing to solve the faults that are also in it. But today's debate would only be a messy one if we are actually going to debate and fly on the root of what they are saying. So I've come to you this very moment, and I say, the panel, the house, accurate and keeper, co-debaters, colleague students, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we want to recap the points that we have mentioned, just in case they were actually jumping on their bankers like they used to do in some time ago, so that they will understand the kind of the point or the perspective we are coming from as far as delivering good healthcare is concerned. So my principal speaker comes here to tell you that, look, Ghana is highly indebted to even cater for the National Health Insurance Scheme. Our economy is not too stable enough to cater for every bit of the insurance scheme for it to be efficient in the way that we expect it to be. And that's when we tell you that even the standards that have been set by the World Health Organization, we cannot meet just because our economy doesn't allow us to. We go on to tell you that the effect of this, the effect of the status quo, which is causing doctors to go on strike, is actually leading to more deaths than we even expect. And besides an example where we have over 500 people dying in just 17 days. These are human beings we are talking about who are dying in 17 days, and they think that is just a mediocre point that they shouldn't even look at. Then we continue to tell you that the lack of appropriate incentives for the health workers prevents innovation of the doctors and also promotes bad healthcare practices. What am I talking about? We tell you that the doctors, because they are not well remunerated, they do not even have time to go and do researches for the benefit of the educational institutions, including theirs, for the benefit of everybody and all aside who are probably not so well vested with the knowledge of health sciences. They do not get that remuneration or that motivation to do those things. And then the bad healthcare practices is that the nurse and the patient relationship is not as it is expected to be. We find that just because nurses think that people are coming on the basis of the National Health Insurance Scheme, they shouldn't be given quality health care. And that's actually a problem. The main issue we should be looking at here is that is the National Health Insurance Scheme giving us good or quality or profitable or advantageous health care, and not just is it giving us access to the health care. Because the fact that I go to the airport doesn't mean I'm traveling to America. The fact that I go to the market doesn't mean I'm going to buy something. But the main point is, are we getting the quality health care that we're supposed to get? Are we getting the quality, the kind of the profitable health care that we're supposed to get? And that is why we present to you from this side of the house that the model that we are putting before you is that the National Health Insurance Scheme, yes, it has done its best. The best they can tell us here is that it brings about equitability and everything. But we tell you that in our model, in our model, we take note of everybody, and then we actually get to the point where we give our quality health care.
I love Food Frosted Flakes because it's so crunchy and full of nutrients. All you need is milk. As usual, Mom.
9 minus 3, 2. That's it? Yes?
90!
Wisteria Flakes has 9 essential nutrients with no artificial additives or colors. Yes?
Food Frosted Flakes is rich in vitamin E, B12, iron, high in carbohydrate, fiber, protein, sodium, and it's very affordable.
Clap for him.
Food Frosted Flakes! Food Frosted Flakes! All you need is milk.
Pooch comes with 3 variants: Frosty Flakes, Choco Flakes, and Cornflakes. Each pack has 10 mini packs of 50 grams, and each box you buy comes with a free exercise book. Pooch is available in all supermarkets and retail shops. Pooch Frosty Flakes. All you need is milk.
Francis Elizabeth Say Hall, and of course Oguaa Hall. They've done a wonderful job. At this point, our moderators are ready.
Okay, so our moderators are done.
So with a round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Adams, and he's going to help us with the final decision by our judges. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you very much. Those who spoke for and those who spoke against, you talked a lot, you gave so many points. And one thing I realized was that the English wasn't bad at all. You spoke very good English, which is very, very, very good. And I'm so happy. Yes, it has been a tough game. But in every game, there should be a winner. That is sure. However, there are certain things we were expecting you to talk about a bit by way of explaining, by way of letting people know. That could have defined the very stand you are considering as you made your presentation. You raised so many vital points. That's all right. But there was a variable. There was a very important variable. We didn't hear about it at all. And that is the word panacea. Many of you don't even understand what panacea is. You didn't talk about the key word panacea. You were only talking about maybe what has been happening against under the NHIS scheme. But there was a key word you didn't address at all. And if you had addressed that key word, that could direct what points to consider most to let us know. But there's no problem. Panacea has to do with something like a platform or a reason for which we can say that this is good or bad. A ground which can let us accept that yes, we can rely on this or we cannot rely on it. But you didn't explain at all. You didn't even mention it. Well, but I hope next time when you are talking about something or a concept, you are debating on it, there are specific variables you have to highlight. Let us know the meaning of such specific words. And based on that, you will know whether you are going the right way or the wrong way. As I said from the beginning, the speakers are all good. The speakers are all very good. But there should always be somebody who would do better than the other. To cut it short, let's see. Those who spoke for, you did very well when it came to maybe mechanical accuracy, for example. The use of language too was not bad at all, as I've said it over and over again. The total marks, as the three of us put our heads together, came to the following. Yeah. Well, those who spoke for had a total of 54. Those who spoke for had a total, when we put our heads together, we put our totals together, they had 54 points. And those who spoke against also had a total of 61 points. Yeah, it has been a wonderful debate, and there is a lot to talk about when we talk about the National Health Scheme. We can talk and talk and talk and talk, and then until eventually the day goes by. But we are saying that despite everything, you are all intellectuals. You've done very, very well. It has been very, very hot. Thank you very much.